Start in child's pose or in puppy pose. If that's not comfortable for your knees for any reason, there's a couple of options. I remembered to grab a towel today. If you have a towel, you can always fold it and place it under your knees as like a little extra cushion. And you can also take child's pose over a bolster, which is going to be a little bit gentler on the knees because you have a little bit of lift. So that's actually what I'm going to do today. So extended child's pose is what you would take if you were using a bolster. So the big toes will touch, the knees will be wide, and you can hug the bolster or pillow right up against the inner thighs. A stack of pillows will work just as well. And then you just drape the front body over the bolster. And you can lay the forehead flat against it, or you can lay one ear, and then I'll let you know when to switch. So find your comfortable child's pose. Letting the front body just soften into the mat. Right away, beginning to notice your breath. See if you can begin to feel the breath moving in the belly. So on your inhale, feeling the belly gently expand towards your mat. And on the exhale, feeling your hips sink a little, feeling the body release a little bit more. And then seeing if you can feel the breath moving in the sides of the rib cage. Feeling the side body gently expand with each inhale. And then gently release with each exhale. And then moving your awareness to the back body. Noticing how the breath feels moving in the back of the body. One of these places may be more subtle than the others, but just noticing, bringing the awareness. The breath will follow. And then seeing if you can begin to breathe into all four sides of the torso. So feeling them all gently expand, belly, sides of the rib cage, and the back body. And then gently contract with each exhale. If you have one ear down on your bolster or on a pillow, go ahead and switch to the opposite ear. And continuing to smooth the breath out. And continuing to softly deepen it. Becoming more present in your body. And for the moment, releasing anything you're holding on to. Just setting it aside. If it's important, you can pick it up again. And if it's not important, just letting it go. Maybe beginning to find a little bit of movement here, maybe rocking the forehead a little side to side on your prop or on your mat. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe even rotating the wrists a little bit, taking some loose fists and finding little circles. Make sure you go in both directions if you're circling the wrists. And then nice and slow, draw the belly button towards the spine. Start to walk yourself back up. And go ahead and scoot any props that you were using aside for now. And then we're going to come into table. And if you have these pads, let me show you what they look like. If you have these little foam discs, we used them at the gym a lot. You can use them to pad the wrists or the knees, but I'm actually going to use a towel today because it dawned on me that I haven't shown you that option. I've described it, I think, but not actually shown you. So you can take any towel. Generally, a thinner one is a little bit better because you can fold it more times. And you can kind of fold it in half. You can fold it in thirds. You can make it wider or skinnier, and then you just place it across your mat wherever the knees or the wrists are going to go. And this is going to give you some good padding. You can make it thicker or thinner. A little blanket, like a little throw blanket, works really well for this also. So just placing it under the knees when you come into your table. Even if you don't have any knee problems, this can be really nice if you're practicing on a hardwood floor. So coming into your table, pressing all 10 knuckles down. And then on your inhale, drop the belly, heart opens, tailbone gently lifts. And exhale, chin draws to the chest, tailbone tucks under, press the mat away with your hands and feet. Inhale, belly drops, heart opens. Exhale, rounding through the spine. One more time, inhale, belly drops. And exhale, rounding up into your cat pose. And let's sink the hips a little bit further back, almost like child's pose. And we're going to take our rolling cat-cow. So on the inhale, drop the elbows, rolling up and through into your cow. And exhale, rounding back, sitting the hips back as you come into your cat. So moving through this version of cat-cow, if this is an uncomfortable version for you, please go ahead and return to that other cat-cow or to any other organic movement that feels good. If you want to get a little stretch through the feet while you're doing this, you can curl the toes under. And then when you sink the hips back, you're getting a little bit of a press, a little opening into the feet. You may have to go a little bit slower if you feel a little unstable here. And then beginning to find any other organic movement, maybe shifting the hips side to side, maybe circling the hips. Any movement that feels good to warm up your spine here. And then coming back to center table. Let's go ahead and keep the left hand where it is. And on your inhale, send the right fingertips up. And then exhale, thread the needle. So right arm under the left, releasing onto the right side of the head. If the mat is feeling far away when you do this today, go ahead and use a block or maybe two and place them under the head. You can also use a pillow. It's a little softer. That's just going to give you a little bit more access to open that shoulder. Left hand can slide towards the top of your mat, or it can come to the low back. If you want a more active version of this pose, you can extend that left foot behind you, curling the toes under. That's going to open the side body a little bit more. Just be careful here. It's a little bit of a balance challenge. breathing wherever you are. And give it one more breath. And then slowly release the left knee if it was lifted. Draw that left hand back. Use it to help you unwind. And we'll do the other side. So right hand stays planted this time. On your inhale, try and keep the hips pointing straight down. So just the upper back, left fingertips will reach. Exhale, thread the needle. Releasing onto the left side of the head this time. Softening that left arm down to the floor. And then making any adjustments you need to kind of find a good position for you here where you're opening the side body, the back. You can extend that right arm and leg. If the right leg is extended, pressing the heel back. So activating that leg. Give it one more deep breath wherever you are. And then slowly draw that right knee down if it was lifted. Draw the right hand back. Use it to press yourself back up. If you had a block, go ahead and just set it nearby. And if you didn't have a block, grab one and set it nearby as well. All right. So we're going to move into down dog. So let's go ahead and move any towel that you might have had. We just don't want to trip on it accidentally. So we're going to set up in our table, but then move the hands a little bit forward in front of the shoulders, curl the toes under. Imagine you're lifting from your tailbone up into your down dog. And you can play with widening the hands here. They can be as wide as your yoga mat. They'll give you a little bit more opening in the shoulders. You can also play with the feet. They can be wide as well. That's going to help you get the hips a little further back. Wherever you are, maybe taking your dog for a little walk, bending one knee and then the other. Maybe shaking the head a little, yes and no. And then find stillness in your down dog for one breath. Press the shoulders down away from the ears. And then look up at your hands. Either take a slow walk or just step up to meet the hands. Hanging forward in our ragdoll here. Maybe take the feet a little bit wider than hip distance. Bending the knees. Bend the knees enough so that your fingertips touch the mat. And then walk the hands over to the right. Soften the head and neck. And then walk the hands through center over to the left. And again, soften the neck. Let the head just hang. And then walk the hands back to center. Let's inhale, halfway lift. So hands come to the thighs or the shins. Belly button hugs in. Exhale, soften and release. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long spine. Exhale, let it go. 1 more. Inhale, draw the belly button in. Exhale, back to your fold. Let's bend the knees generously. Start a slow roll up. See if you can press into all sides of the feet evenly. Taking your time. And once you've rolled up, go ahead and shake it out if you need to. All right. So make sure that your mat is clear of any props. If you do want to block for our sequence where we might do some twists, then just keep it nearby. So let's come into our mountain pose. Feet are about hip distance apart. They can be closer if that makes you feel more stable. That's the most important part. Find a little bit of a bend in the knees, tuck the tailbone. Find that lift through the top of the head. And on your inhale, let's inhale, arms lift, and exhale, hands come down together at the heart. 2 more times. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Last time. Inhale, reach. And exhale, hands together at the heart. This time we're going to reach the arms up, grab a hold of the right wrist, and gently draw it up towards the ceiling first. Expand that side of the body, and then find your side bend to the left. So the hip is going to the right. See if you can even the weight out between both feet. You may have to come back a little, that's fine. And come back to center. Grab the left wrist, think up, and then over. The left hip is going to the left. Think about opening the heart center a little bit up. And then come back to center. Let's release the hands. Take a couple of shoulder rolls. Maybe get the arms involved, make them a little bit bigger. And then reverse the direction. All right, come back to center. Let's do some half sun salutations. I'm going to turn sideways. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, palms touch. Take them down the center line as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the legs for support. Exhale, soften and release. Let's take the hands to the tops of the thighs. Elbows are drawing back, hugging into the side body. And on your next inhale, press through the feet. Use the hands on the legs to come all the way back up. So that's a gentler shoulder option for coming back into our half sun. So you can use that. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands down the center line as you fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften and let it go. Hands to the tops of the thighs. Press through the feet and hands to come all the way back up. And hands come together at the heart. Let's do one more round. We're going to do a more expanded version with the arms. You can stay with that other version if that felt really good to you. Inhale, reach. Exhale, this time swan dive forward. Arms come wide, tailbone goes back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, reverse your swan dive or stick with the hands on the thighs. And exhale, hands together at the heart. I'm going to let you do 2 more rounds at your own pace. I'll be moving through it as well. Don't be afraid to experiment. So you don't have to do it the same every time. Just moving with your breath. We'll meet back up here in mountain. And when you've finished your 2 rounds, take your time. Just come into your mountain. Allow the eyes to soften or close for a moment here. Hands can be together at the heart or down by the sides. Noticing how you're distributing the weight in the feet. See if you can balance it out between all four sides of the feet. Slowing the breath down. And then allowing the eyes to open. And let's step the feet nice and wide. So let's turn the right toes to face the right. Oops, that's not gonna help. We'll move it over here. And then make sure your feet feel stable. So you have a stable platform. And then let's inhale, reach the arms up, grab hold of the right wrist and gently draw back. And then slowly release. Bring the arms out to warrior two arms. So shoulder height. You can kind of check your alignment a little bit. And notice if the arms are creeping forward. See if you can hug them back, hug the shoulder blades together. And then let's find a bend in that front knee, the right knee. Doesn't have to be a big bend. If you want a deeper bend, you can, but make sure that the knee's not going past the ankle. You want to scoot that foot a little forward if it does. So take a breath here. Pressing into both feet evenly if you can. And then on your inhale, we're going to flip the palms, straighten the leg, press the palms together overhead or as close to together as they can come. And exhale back into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, rebend. One more time. Inhale, straighten and reach. And exhale, bend. Let's straighten that right leg again. Release the left hand to the thigh. Flip the front palm and reach those fingertips up. We're finding a reverse triangle here. Still pressing into both feet. One more breath. And slowly release. Let's take both toes back, both sets of toes back to face center. This is where you might want your block, so make sure you have it nearby. We're going to take the hands to the hips. If you don't have a block, you can always use like a cracker box or even a couple of tall soup cans to extend your reach, a couple of books, anything that gives you a little bit of height off the floor. So let's inhale, lift the heart, lift the head. Exhale, start to hinge at the hips, bend the knees a little, tailbones pointing back first, and then you're coming all the way down. So your hands can land on your block or your book. They can also just land on the floor. Letting the head and neck go, keeping that little bit of a bend in the knees. See if you can even the weight out between the heels and the toes here. Maybe shake your head a little yes and no. And then either taking your left hand to the floor, right below where your nose is if you're looking down, or you can use that book or the block on any height. We're going to keep that left hand there, and on your inhale, right fingertips are going to go up. So we're taking a twist. Notice if that right hip went out to the side. Mine did. So lower the hand if that happens. Make sure your hips are square, and then try lifting just the arm, keeping the hips square. Your arm will probably not get up as high. That's fine. And then slowly release. Right hand comes onto the floor or onto your prop. And on your inhale, keep the hips square. Left fingertips are going to reach. Usually one side's a little more open than the other. So just noticing. And slowly let it go. Let's take the hands to the tops of the thighs. And inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, press into the feet and hands and come all the way up. Let's heel toe the feet together for a moment. Inhale, reach the arms up, press the palms together. Exhale, let's twist to the left. So left hand back, right hand forward. Arms are at shoulder height. See if you can soften the shoulders. And then inhale, back up to center, press the palms together. Exhale, twist to the right, right hand back, left hand forward. Nice long spine, take one more breath. And inhale, back up to center. Exhale, hands down to the heart. All right, let's take our lunge series on the other side. So step the feet wide again. This time the left toes are going to turn to the left. Make sure you have a stable platform, and then inhale, arms up, grab hold of that left wrist and gently draw it back. One more breath here. And then slowly release the arms to shoulder height. Warrior two, arms hug the shoulder blades together. And then find that bend in the left knee. So your knees may be a little different. If you have sensitive knees, just very tiny bend, micro bend. Make sure it's not going past the ankle. Hold for one breath. And on your next inhale, straighten the leg, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, back into warrior two. Inhale, reach and straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, reach and straighten. Exhale, bend. We're going to straighten that left leg, release the right palm to the right thigh, flip the left palm, and find your reverse triangle. Left fingertips up towards the ceiling. So be careful not to fully collapse into this right side. See if you can think about keeping length in both sides of the torso. And then slowly release. Let's take the feet back to center. Hands come back to the hips. Let's inhale, lift through the chest, through the top of the head, maybe a tiny back bend here. And exhale, start to fold again. Hips are going back, hinging at the hips. Releasing the hands. Breathing into the back body, maybe giving your head a little shake, yes and no. Give it one more breath here. And then with the hands on the floor or your prop, inhale to extend the spine. Exhale, take the hands to the tops of the thighs and press to come all the way up. Very nice, everyone. Let's heel toe the feet together. Go ahead and shake out the legs a little bit if you need to. All right. Let's inhale, reach the arms tall. Exhale, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. So let's step the feet as wide as your yoga mat. And you have an option here. You can just hang in your forward fold with the knees bent, maybe clasping opposite elbows. If you want to get into the back and shoulders a little bit more, we're going to take the left hand to the center of the mat, probably several inches, maybe about a foot in front of your feet. And then reach the right hand towards your left ankle. So you may not grab the left ankle, you can grab the outside of the foot, you can grab the outside of that left leg, anywhere that feels comfortable, and you're just letting the head hang. So a little bit of a twist here. Give it one more breath. And then slowly release if you were twisting. Right hand comes into the center about a foot in front of your feet. And left hand is going to reach for that right leg or the right ankle or the right foot. Softening the head. One more breath. And slowly release. Let's bend the knees, plant the hands, step to downward dog. Just for one breath here. And then lower the knees. Find your child's pose or your puppy posture. So in puppy, the hips are going to be more lifted and you're walking the hands forward, so you're getting more of an opening in the chest. Breathing wherever you are. See if you can find places to soften and release with the breath. And then slowly start to walk your hands back, press yourself up. And let's come to a seat. You can set your block aside. We're not going to need it. Go ahead and grab a strap if you have one. If you don't have a strap, you can always use your towel. So towel is handy in more ways than any other prop, actually. So you can fold it thin and take it around the bottoms of the feet. So we're going to extend the feet long. So either using your strap or your towel, take that around the bottoms of your feet. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale to lift through the heart, through the top of the head. And exhale, start to fold. So drawing the chest towards the thighs. If you're feeling any pain or pinching in the low back, go ahead and bend the knees. Slide the heels a little bit further back towards you. Breathing into the back body here. Maybe walking the hands a little forward on the strap. Maybe not. Finding a gentle tuck of the chin. Give it one more deep, full breath into the back body. And then slowly draw the belly button towards your spine. From your center, start to roll up. And you can release the towel or the strap. We're going to keep it nearby, and we're going to come onto our backs. So take your time coming down. So a strap is really a little bit more ideal for the series we're going to do. The towel will work as well, but it may not give you quite as long of a reach. So coming onto your back, when you arrive, go ahead and draw the knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. You can take the knees in a nice slow circle if that feels good. Kind of ironing out the sacrum on the mat. Make sure you go in both directions if you're circling. And let's release the left foot to the mat, hugging that right knee into the chest. And start to take some ankle circles with that right foot. Make sure you go in both directions. And then press the left foot into the mat, engage your core, and let's start to take those hip circles with the right knee. So opening the right knee out to the side and then bringing it back through center. So circling that hip and knee. We're trying to isolate the movement there. So pressing into the left foot, engaging the core to keep the rest of your body pretty stable. And then reversing the direction of your circle. So circling that right knee the opposite way. And then taking that right knee back to center. Go ahead and grab your towel or your strap and take it around the bottom of that right foot. And extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. And just gently draw that right leg towards your front body. Left knee is still bent. And you can have as much of a bend in that right knee as you need to. Breathing into the back of the thigh, getting a little light in the hamstring. Maybe flexing and pointing your toes gently. Stretching both sides of the leg. And then flexing that right foot again, go ahead and extend the left leg long down your mat. And flex those toes too. So really active in the left side. We're going to keep that left hip dropping down. Take both ends of your towel or your strap into your right hand. I like to take my left hand to my left hip here as a reminder to keep that hip down. And then on your exhale, start to drop that right foot out to the right. So only going as far as feels comfortable for you, where you can keep that left hip and glute on the mat. So both feet are really flexed and active. Imagine you're standing up on that left leg. Breathing here, remembering that you can always bend to the right knee. And give it one more breath. And then nice and slow, start to take that right leg back up to center. We're going to switch the ends of the strap or the towel into your left hand. The right arm can open out to the side if that feels comfortable. And we're going to start to take that right foot over to the left. So this time the hips are going to stack, so you can definitely lift your right hip if you want. Right toes are still flexed. This definitely might be the part where you need a little bend in that right knee, especially if you're feeling it. This is a big, deep stretch for the IT band. So if you're feeling it behind the knee or in the hip, go ahead and bend that right knee a little bit or a lot. Breathing here. Really flexing the right foot, feeling the toes draw up towards your face. Give it one more deep, deep breath on this side. And then go ahead and bend that right knee generously before you start to take it back up to center. You can release the strap or the towel for a moment, set it aside. Let's release the right foot to the mat, bend the left leg, take your feet as wide as your yoga mat, and do some windshield wipers with the knees. So just dropping the knees gently side to side. Maybe turning your head a little side to side too. It can be the opposite of your knees or the same. And then we'll take the other side. So right foot is going to stay on the mat, right knee bent, left knee is going to hug into the chest, and start to take some ankle circles with that left foot. Make sure you go both ways. And then gently press that right foot into the mat, engage your core, so belly button's drawing down towards the spine, and then start to circle that left knee. Opening up the hip, using your right foot on the mat and your core strength to stabilize you here to isolate this movement in the hip. And then reverse the direction whenever you're ready, circling the opposite way. And then hug the knee into center. And go ahead and grab your strap or your towel one more time. Let's take it around the bottom of that left foot and extend the foot up towards the ceiling. So you can have as much of a bend in the left knee as you need to here, maybe gently flexing and pointing the foot, getting that stretch in the leg. And you're gently encouraging your left leg towards your front body. And then go ahead and reflex that left foot. Extend the right leg long. And the right toes are going to flex as well. You're pressing that right thigh down towards the mat, so the right thigh is really active. And then take both ends of the strap or the towel into your left hand. If you'd like, you can place your right hand on the right hip to remind you to keep that hip and glute down. And then on your exhale, go ahead and extend that left foot out to the left, only as far as feels comfortable for you. The left toes are still flexed. You can definitely bend into that left knee if you need to. Breathing wherever you are. Give it one more deep, deep breath here. And then slowly start to bring that left foot back up to center. Go ahead and switch both ends of the strap or towel into your right hand. Left arm can open out at your side. You can also take a half cactus arm with the elbow bent. And on your exhale, start to lower that left leg over to the right. So the left hip is going to lift now. The hips will stack. Definitely go ahead and bend into that left knee a little bit or a lot if you're feeling any pain or pinching, particularly behind the knee. Left foot is still really active. Imagine you're pressing it into a wall. Breathing into that left leg, into the hip. And give it one more deep, full breath. And then bend that left knee generously before bringing it back to center. You can go ahead and release the strap or the towel. You can set it aside. We're not going to use it anymore today. Take your feet as wide as your yoga mat and do some windshield wipers with the knees, dropping them side to side, maybe turning the head side to side as well. And then bring your feet back to hip distance. Go ahead and take the bottoms of your feet together, knees wide. So reclined cobbler or reclined butterfly. You can slide the feet a little bit further away from you here to give yourself more of a diamond shape in the legs. Give a little bit of more opening in the hips. And hands can come to the belly, or they can come up overhead with the elbows bent. Fingertips can touch or come close to touching. So you're creating a diamond shape with the arms and the legs. Wherever you are, breathing into the belly. Seeing if you can lengthen your exhale just a little longer than the inhale now. Letting your elbows, your knees release to gravity. And give it one more deep, deep, full breath wherever you are. And then slowly release the arms down if they were lifted. Use the hands on the outsides of the thighs to gently close the knees together. If you want to stay in your reclined cobbler for Shavasana, you're welcome to. You can always take blocks under the knees for some support here. Beginning to move into your Shavasana now, your final resting pose. Maybe finding any other movement that feels good before you head there. So maybe a full body stretch. Remembering that you can find any comfortable position for your Shavasana, anywhere you feel supported. So you can always take a bolster or a pillow under your knees. You can take your folded towel or blanket under your head. You can keep the knees bent with the feet wide and just let the knees rest together for Shavasana. So finding your final resting pose here today. And then when you've found it, allowing the eyes to soften or close. Let's all take a deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. And a long sigh out through the mouth. Deep, deep, full breath in through the nose. Long letting go, sigh out. And one more time. Deep, deep breath in. And let everything go. Allowing your body to begin to soften into your mat, into whatever props are holding you up. Allowing the breath to begin to return to its natural rhythm. And feeling the muscles of your face begin to soften across the top of the head, the forehead, and softening the temples and all around the eyes. Seeing if you can release the jaw, relax it a little more, maybe even parting the lips slightly. Feeling the shoulders and hips grow heavy. Letting the arms and legs just melt into your mat. And checking in with and softening each finger, each toe. And as you give yourself a quiet moment here, enjoying your final resting pose, just digesting your practice, reminding yourself that there's nowhere else to be right now. Just enjoying this last moment of stillness and letting go of anything that's no longer serving you. Slowly beginning to bring your attention back to your breath. Slowly beginning to deepen it. And beginning to allow energy to spread through your body by wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe rotating your wrists or your ankles. Maybe gently turning the head from side to side. You can take some windshield wipers with the knees again, or draw the knees into the chest, or take one last full body stretch if it's calling you. And whenever you're ready, making your way onto one side. And then using your top arm to gently press yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall when you arrive. And allowing the eyes to soften or to close once more. Finding a gentle tuck of the chin, and if it's comfortable, bringing the hands together at the heart, sealing in your practice. Taking a moment of gratitude to yourself for making this time just for you to be with your body and your breath. I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.